Good morning, students. It's Friday, and it's time for another remote lesson. Working on it busily in the music room right now. So, this is the Alfred Music Theory software, and we're going to go over Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. And when we're done with Lesson 2, your assignment is going to be to play Staff Wars, and we'll see how well you can name your notes. So we'll start with Lesson 1.
Music is written on a staff of 5 lines and the 4 spaces between.
And I've shown you this before. You can hold your hand out sort of like that, and you can count from your pinky as 1, your ring is 2, your middle's 3, your pointer is 4, and your thumb is 5. That's just like the 5 lines on the staff we see. We can also look in between our fingers and notice in between we have spaces. First space, second space, third space, fourth space.
Music notes are oval-shaped symbols that are placed on the lines and in the spaces. They represent musical sounds called pitches.
So when you look at a musical note, you have to look carefully and see if there's a line intersecting it. For example, I'll point to this one here. This one has a line going right through the middle of the note. Therefore, I call it a line note. This note is resting all by itself in a space in between the lines, so we call it a space note. Can you guess what this one is? If you see a line going through it, it's a line note. If not, space note.
The lines of the staff are numbered from bottom to top.
So just as if you held your hand up, you could count your pinky as 1, your ring is 2, your middle's 3, your pointer's 4, your thumb is 5. That's just like the lines on the staff.
The spaces between the lines are also numbered from bottom to top.
And once again, we could look at the space between my pinky and ring. That's the first space. Between my ring and middle is the second space. Between my middle and pointer is the third space. And between my pointer and thumb, that's the fourth space. All right, and in this exercise, we would just drag the numbers to where they belong. 1 is on the bottom line, and we just simply step our way up. Top line is the 5th. Same applies to spaces, but I have to put the numbers in the space. So this is the first space, second space, third space, fourth space, all right, and this was what your theory sheet looked like if you were taking one home last week. One class did that. It's asking me to place a note on the third space, so I'd highlight 3 spaces up and so forth. This would be the first line, so I'd highlight the line. All right, and we have the idea. That's how that works. I'm going to move through this part quickly because I want to get to the letter names of the notes.
Music notes are named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet, from A to G. By their position on the staff, they can represent the entire range of musical sound.
One thing I tell beginners is think of the first phrase of the ABCs. If you sing the ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, there's your 7 letters. Those are the 7 letters that we use in music, and we don't use any others.
Clef signs help to organize the staff so notes can easily be read. The treble clef is used for notes in the higher pitch ranges.
All right, so that's a treble clef, and we also call that a G clef because it actually looks like a letter G.
The treble, or G clef, has evolved from a stylized letter G. The curl of the treble clef circles the line on which the note G is placed.
So just like in a good pirate movie with X marks the spot, this is a G, and G has a little curly Q that marks the spot where we would find G. If I trace from that curly Q over on the line, lo and behold, there is the note G. So the second line is G.
The treble clef is written in 2 motions as shown below. In the treble staff, the names of the notes on the lines from bottom to top are E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy does fine.
In my music room, we have a poster with a similar lines and spaces, but we say empty, garbage, before, dad, flips. Either one will work. Empty or every stands for E. Good stands for G. Boy stands for B. Does stands for D. Fine stands for F.
The names of the notes in the spaces from bottom to top spell face. F, A, C, E. Face.
So your spaces actually spell a word. Kind of easy to remember. First space F. Second space A. Third space C. Fourth space E. Put them together, it spells face.
All the notes of the treble.
We notice they follow the alphabet. So this is sort of what our assignment's going to entail, except we're going to be doing it sort of in real time in the game in just a moment. But here's how you do it. I look at the note and I decide whether it's a line note or a space note. So if it has a line going right through the center of the note, I know it's a line note. This note doesn't have a line going through the center of the note. In fact, it's in between 2 lines. So it's sitting in a space. So I start from the bottom. I could even do this with my hand if I wanted to and count spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 spaces up. And so now I think about that word face, and I think, what is the 4th letter in the word face? F, A, C, E. So in order to get this correct, I would click E. Looks like another space note. No line going through it. Space note, it's on the first space. So do you know what the first letter of the word face is? I'll bet you do. It is F. Okay, here's a line note. It looks like it's all the way at the top, but we'll count just to be certain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 lines up. And now I think about my sentence. You could either use empty, garbage, before, dad, flips, or you can use every good boy does fine. In either case, when you get to the last word, flips or fine, both of those begin with the letter F. So this all the way up here, empty, garbage, before, dad, flips, is an F, or I could say every good boy does fine. That's an F. All right, let's do one last line note, then we're going to jump over to the other computer and see how to use Staff Wars. All right, looks like there is a line going through it, so that is a line note. I'll count up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines up. Empty, garbage, before, dad, or every good boy does. So dad and does begins with, you guessed it, D. So that's how we name the notes on the treble clef. I'm going to slide my camera over for you, and we're going to look at my other computer. I'm going to show you how to get on Staff Wars online, and then we'll play around together. All right, so I'm sliding over. Here's the other computer, and I'll send you this link. I have it bookmarked here on my remote links. Let's find it right here. Oh, Staff Wars Online. So I click on it one time, and unfortunately our Adobe Flash is blocked, but you can work around that by asking the computer to add it. So you might see this little red icon up in the corner. It says Get Adobe Flash Player. I'll click on it once. It tells me it won't be available after this year, but yet I want to allow it. So I click the Allow button. And now I should have a, oh, there it goes. Sometimes there's a puzzle piece like an extension you have to do on the right size. But here is our Staff Wars. And I'm going to draw your attention to the bottom right. It says, I'll put my finger up there, it says Range Original. And we need to change that range because it's too high and too low. We don't know the notes outside of the staff. So if I simply click on it, I want to click on it till it just has the notes on the first and last line. So there it is. I believe I clicked on it 4 times. So if you click on that thing 4 times, it brings it to the range we want. It's going to stay inside the staff. And of course, we don't want to choose any of these clefs. We want to choose the G clef. So I'm going to choose the G clef right over here on the left. And now we're ready to play. So at the bottom of the screen, I have the letters of the staff. I have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And you're actually able to order these if you wish. If you want to put them in the order that alphabetic order, you can just click on the arrows till they come to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If that helps you, you're welcome to do that. All right, so I'm going to click the Start button. And what we'll see is we'll see a note appear on the right side of the screen and start heading towards this flashing green bar. If it hits the bar, we lose a man. And we only have 3 men, I believe. All right, so I'm going to click Start, and we're going to have to name the note in real time. So here's Start, and coming across the screen, I see a note on the first space, and it's the first letter of the word face. So we know that is an F. So I come down to the bottom, I click on the F, and the little TIE fighter shoots it. All right, this is on the 4th space, and I think F, A, C, E, so that must be an E. All right, what's coming next? This looks like it's on the 2nd space. 1, 2. So F, A. Second letter of face is A, so I click on the A. All right, here's a line note. 2 ways to find this note. I notice it's in the curly Q of the G clef. Hint, hint. Or I could say empty garbage, or I could say every good. We know that's a G. And this certainly looks like the same note again. Empty garbage in the middle of the curly Q has to be a G. All right, I'm on the 3rd space. Spaces spell face, so I say F, A, C. So I click on C. Highest space, the 4th space, F, A, C, E. Looks like I have the same note again, so it's another E. This note's coming onto your screen. First line, so I'm thinking empty, like empty garbage, another E. Top space, F, A, C, you got it, E. Right, so I got 10, it speeds up now. First space, first letter in face is F. Looks like I have the same note again, another F. 4th line, empty garbage before dad, has to be a D. 2nd space, second letter in the word face, F, A. Top line, last word in the sentence, empty garbage before dad flips, that's an F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Empty garbage before dad. It's a D. Second line, empty garbage. Once again, same note, empty garbage. Once again, the same note, empty garbage. First line, empty. Top line, empty garbage before dad flips, that's an F. First space, space to spell face, has to be an F. Third space, third letter in face is C. Second line, empty garbage, also in the curly Q, that's a G. Flips is F. Garbage, that's G. Flips, that's F. First space, space to spell face, has to be an F. First line, empty, begins with E. First space, that's F for face. Second line, between the curly Q, empty garbage, that's a G. Fourth line, D. Top line, F. First line, empty, E. Empty garbage, that's G. Second space, second letter in face should be an A. First space should be an F. Third line, empty garbage, B4 to B. Empty begins with E. Third line, empty garbage, B4. Second space is A, another A. It's going to get too fast for me to name them all, so I'll just keep going here and see if I can get a nice score for you. Garbage is dad. C, the face is B. B. There's an E. There's a B. F. B. That would be an A. C. A. D. Another D. C. E. F. G. G. We'll get there in time. Oh, looks like I'm done. All right, so that's game over. And at the bottom of my screen, it says I had 82 correct. And what you can do to show me your high score is if you go to your keyboard and you're going to press the control button, which is at the bottom left, and you can click on print screen. It's top right, it says PRT, SC. If you press those buttons together, it copies the screen. And then you could probably go to your Google Classroom, or if that's not available, you can go to your email. Let me see if it works. I'll send a message to myself just to see if it's working. And I can say my name, Mr. H. High Score. And you're going to want to put your name so I know who it is, and also probably your classroom teacher. So you might put your name and then put 3L for Lindemann or 6M for Mooney. All right, and now if I press Control V, look at that. See that? I got my high score and an email message. I click send, and it comes right to my email, and there it is. So that's your assignment for the week. I want you to review your lines and spaces on the G clef or treble clef, and then go to Staff Wars Online and get your high score. Once you have your high score, you click Control Print, you copy the screen. You can email to me through regular email, or you can do it through Google Classroom. Either way, I'll get it and I'll mark it in my book. So I hope this helps, and have fun, and I'll see you again next week.